Hey everyone, Zach here from ZTF Studio, continuing on with the mixing series that I started a couple weeks ago. We've talked about the kick drum and the snare drum, and now we're on the overheads. So let's head over to the DAW that I use, which is Reaper, and we have overhead hi-hat and overhead floor tom. Now the reason I do overhead hi-hat and overhead floor tom for the labels is I don't like using left and right, because when I record something, I want to know what mic is over mostly the hi-hat snare area and which mic is over mostly the floor tom ride cymbal area for a basic drum kit setup. So that's just a little bit more clear for me. And so let's take a look here. We're going to listen to the chorus part, and I've turned off the effects here, which is on the main drum bus, so we're going to turn all that off. We're just going to hear just the plain overheads here together: overhead hi-hat, overhead floor tom. We also have the mono overhead and the mono room, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I have one plugin, and this is made by Tukan. Tukan is a plugin company, and it's for Reaper only DAW, and it has 4 controls here. We have the tape control, the denoiser, the in drive, and the output. So the tape is kind of like going from what something recorded on new tape would sound like all the way up to an old tape that's been recorded on many times. And as you know, the more you record on tape, the less clear, and it gets a little bit more dirty sounding. So I have that 3/4 on. Turn the denoiser all the way up so there's no tape noise, and the saturation, which is the in drive, that's going to saturate, gives a really nice saturation on this plugin. I really like this one. We also have the 38 centimeters per second and the 19 centimeters per second. I keep it at the 38, which is I believe 15 inches per second, and the 19 centimeters is 7.5 inches per second. So we're just going to keep it there. We're going to turn it off for now, and let's just listen to just the overheads itself. There was no compression or anything added to this during the recording session. It was just straight into the board, straight into the interface box. So here we go. And let's turn it on. So yeah, I really like what it does. It just gives it some depth, and it just brings it more into your face, and it's just a really nice sounding tape saturation plugin by Tukan. So I really like that. And then for the mono overhead, I have 2 plugins. The first one is the Pro EQ from FabFilter, but I didn't do any adjustments there, so that does not really need to be there. And then the other thing is I did a Stereomaker, a stereo wither. So by Brainworks, it's the BX Stereomaker, and it's got tone, high damp, mono frequency, and stereo expander, and tilt. And there's a mode for that. It could be tilt or pan. I just leave it right in the center. The mono frequency I turned all the way up to 250, so all frequencies 250 hertz and below are mono, dead center. And then the stereo expander is almost all the way up, about 3/4 away, maybe a little bit more than 3/4 away, and it just gives a false or Fox stereo spread. So let's turn that off for now, and once again I will play the track by itself. This is just the mono overhead. This is right over the center of the drum kit. And then I'll turn it on. So yeah, I like the nice little spread there. Alright, turn that back down to where it was. And then the mono room, same thing. I have 2 plugins on this one. First one is the FabFilter, and we're going to turn off each one of these cuts so I can individually bring them in for you to hear what I'm doing with that. And I also have another Tukan plugin, and this one is their distressor style compressor. It's called the Dis Treasure. Once again, these are Reaper only plugins. We have a 2-to-1 ratio. We have the high pass on the detector and on the audio, and distortion 3 on the audio. And distortion 3 is kind of a tape saturation. Input's about a little over 6, attacks at 5, releases at 5, and output's almost all the way up. So we're going to turn that out for now because we're just going to listen to the EQ. Alright, so let's turn on the high cut. Alright, and the high cut's around 6,000. And then we go down to about almost 4,400 hertz, and we cut out a lot of that. And then we go to about 1,000 hertz, and we cut a lot out of that. And then we have a low cut at about 127. So with the EQ fully on, and I'll turn it off. And then I'll add the distressor. So that's what I did with that, and I'll turn this back down, and then I'll just listen to that. So that's without the mono overhead and the mono through. I'll turn that back on. Just add a little more dimension to the overheads. Alright, so that is the overheads for So Cool by the band Kewl Zoo. Next video I'm probably going to be working with the toms and what I did with that, and then we'll move on to the bass, and then the acoustic guitars, the rhythm guitars, the solo guitar, and the lead and background vocals, and then we'll put the whole thing together. Alright, I hope you're enjoying these. I'm enjoying putting these together. It's fun. A little project here I'm doing here when I have time to put them out. So hit the like button if you're liking what I'm doing. Leave a comment if you'd like to see something different or have ideas how to improve these videos. And hit subscription if you want to hear or get a notification when the next video comes out, because I do not have set dates or times when these come out. It's just whenever I get a chance to. So have a good time making music out there, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.